experts who are leading their industries and leading our community and sharing insights, their specialties, and their ability to transform our communities through their vision, through their organization. I am proud tonight to be able to bring to you the executive director of Blacks in Technology. Yes, Blacks in Technology, an area that all of us should have half of our bodies, if not our whole bodies, involved in, sitting in a technology seat, making sure that we are certain about our occupation in the industry, making sure that our children, that the future of our entire community is vested in technology. And I say it again, technology. And with that, I bring to you my brother, the executive director of Blacks in Technology, Peter Beasley. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Love to be alive, COVID-19, and just God is good in 2020, and happy to be here. Thank you. Thank you, Matsu.
Well, we are all definitely monitoring our behavior in a way that has never happened before. It also seems that technology is playing a role even as we think about it. Contact tracing, all of the labs that are now being utilized to be able to develop and even analyze whether a person has COVID each and every day. Temperature readings with machines handheld that literally interpret the body temperature and decide who enters and who doesn't. Can you give us a forecast? Where is technology today, and why is Blacks in Technology an organization that our community, number one, needs to be paying attention to and joining?
Well, absolutely. Where is technology today? I mean, you touched on it. It's everywhere. I can't imagine any parts of the world really to not be technology enabled. Certainly the modern world, America, Europe. I don't know if you can survive inches in reality and space and time without coming into play with technology. It's just interwoven in our daily fabric, and telephones, televisions, Zoom. With COVID, and if you're not computer literate, you can't meet with people anymore. You can't physically get around groups of people. And yes, a lot of people can spell Zoom now, can use Zoom and the other platforms, but you have to be able to use a computer. And so computer literacy is very important today because that's just how people can interact safely. And so Blacks in Technology, Black people, we have two names here. We have our organizational names, and we just have Black people in technology. And just like the fabric of the government, the fabric of industry, Black people are involved. Black people are certainly involved in many levels of technology and have been for a long time. And then our group, Blacks in Technology, let's just talk all of the senseless murders, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and on and on and on. And so Blacks in Technology also is very important today. So we have a lot of things going on. Just technology itself was happening at a breakneck speed anyways. Then we have this pandemic, which life might not go on in a meaningful way without technology. Again, technology is, there's medical technology, there's that type of technology, and all of the instrumentation and systems that are being used to help solve that problem. And then you have the social justice issues that are in everybody's conscience right now.
So the mission of Blacks in Technology, for all those who are not familiar, what is the mission?
Absolutely. Blacks in Technology, our mission is simple, it's pure. It's to increase the representation and participation of Black people in technology. And that's Black people, men, women, gender is not binary, so it's all Black people. And technology, it's not just engineers, it's not just information technology, it's sciences, it's things like video, is video engineering or is video IT. So it's technology, it's broad. we trying to increase that participation, and that's also entrepreneurial. So we support Black entrepreneurial tech enterprises, also those employed in tech, that being technologists themselves, developers, engineers, analysts, people on the help desk, people, computer operations, engineers, scientists. So data scientists, that's the technologist type of grouping that we have in our group. We also have a membership class for directors, senior leaders, CIOs, CTOs, VPs. So we have a grouping of the leaders, business leaders in tech. We have business owners in tech. We have future technologists. Our future technologists are typically working professionals, people that are already out of college, not necessarily high school age or in colleges, but people that have already graduated, people in real estate moving into tech, people in sales moving into tech. So we have that future technologist category. Technology supporters, those are all those professionals in human resources, recruiting, lawyers, marketing, all the professionals that support tech, people that work at a tech company, but aren't necessarily technologists themselves. So we're embracing of the entire ecosystem of people that support technology. And I guess I left out a very important group too, people who are not Black. So the name of our group is Blacks in Technology. Of course, we don't discriminate. And so we have many people who are not Black. And so it's an ecosystem of people that have that same mission to increase the representation and participation of Black people in tech. And if Black people are in tech more, we'll have more diversity for everyone, and that will help everyone. We'll have better innovation. There'll be more money to be made. It's a strong value proposition.
So how do people join? And give me an idea, if I was a member, what would be the benefits and the association, obviously.
Yes, so it's there's a couple of ways to join. So we exist in a meetup.com platform in various chapters. So we have, I believe, 14 chapters at this point. Let me count them off here. Portland, San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Twin Cities, Chicago, Cincinnati, as of 2 days ago, Cleveland. Keep going here. Boston, Washington, D.C., New York, Central Florida, that being Tampa. Also Raleigh, Durham as of a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Houston, Dallas, North Texas. I think I'm missing somebody, but meetup.com, search Blacks in Technology. And so you can find a meetup group in those different geographies. And you can just join, I want to join, and you're a member. So that's one format, and that's there's no dues associated with that, and that's anybody that wants to participate in that meetup style organization. Those chapter organizations before COVID would meet in person often in those various cities at corporate donors that would provide meeting space, pizza, refreshments, or we'd meet at restaurants and meet and talk about issues. So that format is a chapter-oriented focus. Now everything's virtual, and so it's through the meetup.com and Zoom sorts of initiatives. We also have a full dues paying program, which has different benefits. And so that's just as simple as going to our website and pressing the join button, and you pay for dues. So those different membership classes range from $45 annually for future technologists. And if you own a software company like I do, that's $225 a year. So we have different levels based on who you are in the membership program.
Derek Riley had to ask you a question. It said, what would be the certification to get in the next 5 to 10, and I'm not sure if he means years, to possibly start an IT company?
What would be the best certification to start a company or to work in? I guess maybe.
Yeah, I'm reading exactly it. I'm not sure if you can see in there because it came privately to me, but possibly they could send it to you. Derek Riley, what would be the certification to get in the next 5 to 10 to possibly start an IT company? And I'm just assuming that it's 5 to 10 years, but
Okay, sure. Yeah, and I do see that question now. So starting an IT company. So, starting a business is its own thing, no matter if it's a shoe business or restaurant. So starting a business takes more than just starting in the right field. You can be in the right field. If you want to play basketball, I can tell you where a court is, but that doesn't mean you can shoot, right? Doesn't mean you can defend, and you need to, if you're a general manager of a team, you need to be able to hire and get the right coach, and got to get funding. And so that's a little bit of a challenge from a certification, the best certification for starting a business, because there are so many components to starting a business. If I were to say working in technology, that too requires your aptitude and what area are you good at. Just because a CCIE is a good certification, a lot of the cybersecurity certs are good, doesn't mean that that's good for you though. We in Blacks in Technology, one of the benefits of membership, we have a scholarship opportunity right now to be a certified wireless network administrator, CWNA. And we have for members 10 every 6 months that we offer, and that's training and testing that we'll pay for people that fill out the scholarship application and then are selected for the scholarship. So that's a CWNA. So a lot of it depends on your desire and your aptitude, but cybersecurity is certainly hot. Data science is hot. A lot of fields are hot in technology. Bunsen, you there?
that's my long pause. I just do that. That's part of my interview style there, Peter. I think for many people who are looking, Peter, they need a stronger read. You say it so apropos, but when people think of data science, I think I know that our community is often, when they have access, which we appreciate you sharing your access, they really want to know top five, kind of like you're running them off. Cybersecurity certificate, something to really look at, and what that aptitude would be so that a person had it. If they should be degreed. For a person that could do coding, what would you recommend that they think about getting coding in so they're certified to code? What language? If you were thinking about data science, which certificate in data science, just so that they would have at least a starting point. And I know that many people are looking for that information. Obviously, it might be at the website, but I think they're looking a little bit for a forecast from a Genius Software executive director of Blacks in Technology, so they get that brother insight at this moment.
Yeah, wow, you just teed that one up big and broad here for me. But these are unprecedented times. We have an election coming up. The crystal ball that we all wish we had, we don't have. And so nobody could have predicted where we are in the world today. And certainly around the social justice, around a lot of allies working to eliminate the injustices that Black people have faced across the country and in technology additionally. So to not be, again, it's the field. I would not cite certificates particularly because there are many, and I don't have the exhaustive list. I would certainly promote cybersecurity, and so I would put some responsibility back on people. That is fairly easy. Goolge, can't even spell it. Google, Google. So you can Google and find the certificate. So it's not that hard to put some ownership back on people, but certainly cybersecurity is hot. Application development is always strong, and R, Python, C Sharp, C. There's a lot of languages, Java that still exists. Being able to develop on an iOS platform, DevOps is important to be able to virtualize operations around how companies deploy applications, database technologies, data science, engineering. Let's don't leave out engineering. I'm actually an electrical engineer. So engineering is very strong. Biomedical engineering, that's a technology. So it's not all just certifications. Some of these require degrees. Some not just a 6-month cert or a home study cert. Some take technical training as in a trade school. So it's very broad. Some of these require financial investments. So you might have to go to college, get a scholarship, pay for it, work a second job, or a trade school, not as high of a financial bar, but then the certifications, there's a testing fee typically. Often some certifications require the training class too. So just to point at a certification, some might be out of reach just because of its technology, how difficult it is to learn, or financial bars. So a lot of it is associated with the person's means, aptitude, desire, what do they want to do with themselves. Does you no good to be a data scientist if you like dealing with people. You're gonna be dealing with bits and bytes and stuff. What do you want to do? And you need to know that yourself.
You didn't tell him, did you, there, Peter?
Did I tell him? I think I told him enough. Oh yeah, I got there. I'm on the field. I might have to steal second base. No, I'm on second base. I might have to steal third, but I'll get into home. I can get to home.
I got you. Yeah. I think for everyone who's watching and you're just joining us, a seat at the table, we are here with Peter Beasley. He's the Executive Director of Blacks in Technology. The biggest part of moving, if I'm interpreting you properly, is one, research. Just spend some time researching those occupations, those areas in technology that Peter has described to see what fits you. You got to put it on, kind of think about wearing it, think about your investments, and then think about, will you like it enough after you put some money into something to stay with it long enough for it to actually manifest into what you're dreaming of. Is that about right, Peter?
Well, absolutely. So if you think about salary expectations for people in technology, entry level probably is at least $50,000, $50,000 a year in salary, up to, again, if you own a technology company, you can become inordinately wealthy. Generational wealth you can develop for yourself and your family through technology. Now, it would be great for me and you and everybody to go make $50 million next year. But just the way our society is and life is, you just can't do all that. It'd be great if, again, I could hit a three-point shot like Steph Curry. I have not put in the time for that. And probably those days are gone for me. I'm just not going to do that. Now, so technology often starts in elementary school almost, to junior high, to high school. A lot of people understand and develop that passion, aptitude in high school, if not college. So a lot of this journey to get to those levels of salary are for those people that figured out at a young age through mentors, school counselors, or a lot of different ways that people sometimes gravitate to technology early in their life. I was one of those fortunate people. My freshman year in high school, I knew I wanted to be an electrical engineer. That is very rare to know already by then, such a technology like that. But I had good counselors, good schools, and I was always a tinkerer. And so I heard that was what I should go do, and it ended up being pretty close for what I need to do. But if you're 40 and you just learned about tech 2 weeks ago, that's a little bit bigger journey to get to the $50 million. You've got, of owning a technology company and selling it, So you got to learn, study, find out something that works for you, know that that's right. Again, on the basketball court, you got to start shooting those three free throws, but maybe it's baseball for you. Maybe you want to hit the ball out of the park, so the investment and time, that's a lot on the person. They've got to know and decide which way they want to take their life. And there's a lot of things that go into that, but there's a subtlety that escaping us here is Blacks in technology. And the reason our organization exists because we are highly underrepresented. There are a lot of factors that keep us out and hold us back and don't help us advance. And people don't always buy our products and give us funding when we start companies. So it's one of those areas that are not as wide open as they should be for Blacks in technology. So you've got your own personal desires and goals, your abilities to focus and fund that learning. And there are some lower level sorts of things that you can get involved in early too. So often an entry point for a lot of people is in an IT department, in customer support, help desks, PC support. Often people that have worked in computer stores, in the helping finding RAM, and they're a tinkerer at home on their PC and a gamer. That's perfect background for getting into technology, being a gamer, being good with cell phones, stereos, that's technical. And so there likely could be some aptitude already around technology. But there's the other softer skills of project management, business analyst. That's the person that can relate what business owners, people that want a business function, and application developers. There's somebody in the middle that can take these words and write it down and interpret it so that somebody can go build it. That person is a technologist, but they're not a coder. They're not an engineer. And a lot of people, educators, do well in that. You can be in the education field and come over and be a business analyst. That's an analyst. There's also technical writing. That's technologists. So a journalist, a writers, you can pivot. So there's a lot of pivot points into technology. A lot of it is on the person to figure out how to get in and make their mark.
So people should join today so they can actually get insight. When they join a chapter, would they begin to glean and get some access and information while being a part?
Yes, over time. And so the chapters are run by the chapter leaders, and they are exclusively volunteers. They often have full-time jobs. They're doing it for the love, for the cause, again, the overarching cause, increase the participation and representation of Black people. So everybody's down for the cause. And oh, by the way, not everybody leading a chapter is even Black. So we have cases where there's an Hispanic man currently that leads a chapter. And so it's just having that passion. But they're volunteers and they have their own leadership team, and they can plan their activities. But typically across the span of a year, a chapter will have some technical training sorts of activities. There may be social justice issues. The activities are sponsored by a sponsor, and so that sponsor may have a focus for a particular event. But again, we're virtual, so you can pay attention to all the various chapters, and therefore find an event somewhere that might be more training oriented, if that helps.
It all helps, Peter. It all helps. We're just trying to get the community to join and put it on so we can increase the KPIs and develop a set of KPIs as it relates to our community getting involved.
Awesome. So yes, it's interesting to see the growth too. So I'll just talk about Blacks in Technology, our organization. So founded by a great leader, Greg Greenlee in Cincinnati. He actually was one of those guys in a computer store. I have not met him personally myself. I've been involved with the organization a little over a year, and he's in Cincinnati, and I'm in Dallas, Texas. And so, great guy, wonderful ethic, down for the people. He bootstrapped himself for the most part from working at a computer store, married, raising a family. He's now a DevOps engineer. And while getting to that point in his life and career that he started going to conferences, he would see the underrepresentation. It plays out dramatically in technology. It's not very diverse. Certainly a lot of Asian people and a lot of white people and fewer Hispanic, probably more than anything, and not that many blacks too, if you just look at a percentage. And so he, though, 10, 11 years ago, wanted to do something about that and started podcasts, blogging, writing, Twitter about this problem and what can we do, and formed Blacks in Technology. He added on the nonprofit component in chapters a few years back. I learned about it just as a volunteer, a lowly chapter member in Dallas. There was an inaugural event in Dallas that I went to, and I said, sure, why not? And so joined and helped in Dallas, and we went from 0 members to we are now probably 21, 35, something like that in a year and a month. So tremendous growth and success that we had in Dallas. March, I linked up with Greg and thought we could take this further. And I became the executive director nationally March of this year. And I will tell you all here that we have international interests. So I have interacted with the guy who says he's the only Black in technology in Switzerland. So I don't know how far that goes, Switzerland, what's the next country over, but we're inches away from being Blacks in technology internationally. Again, the outpouring, the protests, I am literally talking to white people in Melbourne, and there's a lady in Detroit, and I don't know if she's watching, but it was just an email that came in one of our inquiry lines. What can I do in Detroit? I said, start a chapter. Her reply was, I'm a Jewish white lady. And I said, so? Well, somewhere in the next conversation that we decided that might not be the thing to do right now. But we have tremendous growth, and this is a great time to be Black in technology.
Super. Well, I want to thank you for spending some time. I think the next time we catch up, we'll plan to walk people through the effects of AI and how we all can better prepare ourselves for the technology in the future. So I'd love to have a conversation, bring a couple of your chapter presidents on so that we can just encourage our community and see if we can recruit another 10 to 20 chapters so that we can continue the growth of what your vision and Greg's vision is. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Munson. Love this opportunity and love what you're doing. This is a great platform and program, and I'm going to have to remember those pauses that you have there, and I might have to pause back at you a time or two.
No problem, brother. That's what brothers do. Yeah. So it's all there. Well, we appreciate it. Continued success, and I will get with my team so we can plan just to get some chapter presidents up and figure out how Rolling Out can collaborate with you. We have a conference every year in September. Obviously, it'll be virtual, the 25th and 26th, and technology is one of the 4 pillars, from thought set to entertainment professionals to business and obviously technology. So thought leadership in technology, business, and entertainment professionals at RIDE, Rolling Out Innovation Digital Entertainment. So we look forward to seeing you soon, and all your chapter presidents. Thanks so much for coming on A Seat at the Table.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Munson. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Peace. For all of you out there, don't forget to go and check out the website, Blacks in Technology. It is a wonderful organization, blacksintechnology.net, that is. So make sure that you go to blacksintechnology.net. And that is what's going to make a difference in our community for us to organize, which they're doing, organize and get some insight from those who want to make sure that disparity in technology is going to be erased. So we really appreciate Peter coming on and being a part of a seat at the table.
Appreciate you and look forward to coming back.
You got it. Thanks, Peter.
All right.
All right. My brother, Ian.
My brother, how you doing?
Come on, man.
I miss you, man. How you doing?
I'm excellent, brother. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm blessed to be here. Happy to chat with you. It's one of my favorite parts of Wednesday.
Hey,
Yeah.
right back at you, man. I'm excited about what's going on. Looks like we're having a super race. We got to decide the name of our program. You come up with one yet?
Getting close. I'll drop it to you. Are we live?
We're live. We're very
Okay.
live.
I'll text you.
Everybody,
I'll text you. I want anybody to take it.
Obviously, we are with the great picker, the genius of finance, the rolling out guru of finance. And obviously, those who out there, we want you to understand that Ian wants the community to instruct themselves to not work so hard for their money, but invest their money so their money works for them.
Yes.
Anything new?
Say it again.
Anything new in technology? I know that's your buy.
That's my baby. Tesla is going to be moving here to Texas and Austin, so that's pretty fascinating.
All right.
Microsoft reported earnings today. They did pretty well considering Corona. They actually were up, but it's interesting. The stock dropped. So a lot of people ask about fundamentals. So if a company's making money, you would naturally think it'll go up. The stock dropped. So I'm telling people, good opportunity to buy. If you can get in around 200, 201. I know everybody's been hitting me up on Instagram and saying, can you give me some cheaper stocks, brother, in the $20 range? I'm working on it. But Microsoft is going up. Apple's doing good. Tesla's doing great since we talked last. So, and yeah, I do have a date and a name, but like I said, I want to text it so no one tries to take the domain or anything like that. But I'm excited. I'm very excited about that.
Now, I think money is the for those who want and are concerned about stock price.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of thinking stock price, think about $100 at a time.
Yes.
So maybe it's $200 and you're just going to buy one share of Microsoft. Get in the game and get a seat at the table at some corporation where you're now a shareholder and owner in a brand.
And
Those
even if you go to like Schwab, or they have a thing called slices where you can get a fractional share. So you don't have to pay the whole 3,100 for Amazon. You can pick the amount that you want to invest, and then you can see it grow. And then the first time we see that gain, you know, what we end up telling everybody in the barbershop, everybody at the hookah place, even though you guys are not supposed to be smoking hookah, Atlanta, right? We end up telling everybody.
This is Turn Up Central, brother. Atlanta is Turn Up Central. If you've never come to a party,
There's no parties like Atlanta.
No.
Yeah.
No. We are, you know, if you thought you had been to a party and around Black people 24/7 and wanted all day, every day, Atlanta.
Yeah, even going back to my college days when I would, because I went to school at Indiana University, so when I would slide down to the AUC, I'm like, y'all party different. Like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you know. So, and then yeah, the nightlife is amazing. So I know everybody want to turn up. Be safe, please be careful. But the thing that I love about our community is like if we know something works, we'll share it like crazy. And if it doesn't work, well, we really going to share it, right? So you can go to, and I'm not affiliated with Charles Schwab, so I don't have any money coming in on the back end, but I know people need an affordable option to at least get started. You can just go to Google and type in slices, and you can get a fractional share of these companies and test it out and see if it works.
So that's insight, which Ian is very much about for our community. But I think the thing everyone, and he likes to spoil you guys. I like to give you the truth. Um, don't be afraid to do something different to better yourself. This is a moment for you to watch. Sacrifice. Don't buy anything outside of cook all your food and just save enough to get in the market.
Yeah.
Stop making excuses about wealth for your kids. Save a few $100s, buy something that they can learn from.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tool for learning. If your child wears or plays a game, all these sporting companies, gaming companies, the games they play are made by publicly traded companies.
Take-Two and Activision. So if you go Google Take-Two Interactive or Activision and you show it in front of your kids, they're going to be like, oh, I like this game, or I play this one. And here's the cool part for all my parents. If you start investing and show them, your kids will bring you something that they like, and you'll be able to go track what company they're tied to and profit from it. So I know kids love, especially if you're on a PS4, PS5 is coming out. There are going to be a lot of games that do well in the fall of next year. I know you may not feel like spending the money in the PlayStation Store to buy, but they may play something and you may look it up and you get your money back from that game within 3 or 4 months. And even though it has been a scary time, we're living through history. So we'll be able to tell our grandkids and great grandkids one day, hey, I lived through that, because they're not calling it a depression now. Probably in 2026, they'll label it as something. And you can say, hey, I lived through that. And these investments that I made now are paying off later. So it's not that we don't want you to have fun, but even me, approaching 38 next month, like I always look back at my 20s and be like, none of the clothes that I wore, like I love Damon John. I'm not wearing FUBU anymore. Anybody I dated back then, that's just wasted money, right? So I'm like, if I would have took all that money and not put them in those dates and those failed relationships and put them into the market, I would have been elated. But I'm telling you guys from a perspective, from a person that messed up, that started too late, that, at 24, I had a 501 credit score, like, and then now to have no debt, like I've been through it. So I know you guys see the jacket and the little cute mic and all that. I'm not bougie. I'm just walking you through the actual mistakes that I made, and I don't want you to make them yourself.
I think it's the idea of finance, and financial education is worth studying. It's worth, when I see you, I'm not even worried about what yesterday is, because that's not what investing is about. Like you want to look back and keep looking back, but can't walk that way through this life.
Absolutely.
So you take your experience into what you're moving into. We got experience as a community. We're not investing enough.
Yeah.
We have experience in this community. We need to sacrifice in our lifestyles and increase our investment in ourselves and our families in instruments that will bring them wealth long term.
And if we get enough of us, and I think I have a really good date that we can do, I'm going to text you as soon as we get off here. And I think I got a pretty cool name, but the bigger vision I want us to have. So I won't say the guy's name, but a guy got a group of friends together, and there's a company called Pier 1 Imports that everyone has heard of. Like, they're like a Bed Bath & Beyond competitor. They bought it for $31 million. They're going to take it all online. They'll probably make the $31 million back in 5 months, and then it'll be all upside. We're just trying to get us to do the same thing, because I think even if we get a bunch of us, let's say we just go in on Nike, and let's say we get 2,000 or 5,000 of us to invest in shares, then not only will we own Nike, so we'll feel proud when we wear the logo, but we can force them, hey, okay, great, you guys are a basketball dominated sport or brand, right? Why not build a school in Chicago? Why not build a school in Atlanta and put these kind of resources in? Because they're going to have the best athletes anyway, but they make more than enough money to put some infrastructure. But if we're not in a game, we won't even have the access to begin having these conversations. And for the first time in history, whether it's for financial gain or they really care, companies are actually listening to us if we're Black now. And look at the power of how things can change in 6 months. And I'll tell you guys, just like most people, most companies don't have 3 to 6 months of reserves. They don't. So if we, and I know everyone's always heard the meme or heard the story, like if we band together and don't spend any money from Thanksgiving through the new year, we can bankrupt a company. COVID proved that. So we don't
Tell
have to. It's very simple, but it's hard because the sacrifice up front can be tough. But in the end, that's one of the ways we can end up getting ownership. And once we do it here, now we can. I mean, maybe even out of this group, we can go right from this to investing to then maybe a real estate deal. Like the guy Chris Senegal here in Houston, he's renovating all of Third Ward or a good portion of it off $1 million that he crowdfunded. The books are open, so it's like if you drive past Third Ward, you can see the construction going on. It's like there's a lot of things that we can do collectively, but it starts with one small action together.
Yeah, so we definitely are going to have a lot of crowdfunding going on now.
Yeah,
I think we're willing to trust each other enough that we're going in on making sure that we are now in industries and that we now are behind entrepreneurs and not worried about that $100,000 and I can't sleep because keep moving, bro. Those are 2 Louis Vuitton bags or the red bottoms you just didn't buy. Move on.
And if we pile them up, especially amongst Black women, because Black women are getting the most funding right now. Like Black women entrepreneurship is the fastest growing group, and man, sisters are killing it. And then I think there's even an opportunity for a lot of Black women to get into tech. And then it's like now we can fund a lot of things. The great part is when you take action in one space and you learn how to invest in one thing, and it's like it's great to start with the top companies because then you get to learn a lot about their processes, and then you can then apply it to your own business.
Right.
And take, because that's, I mean, you got to pray for the brother Kanye, but like a lot of the things that he learned about Yeezy, he learned about through Nike, then Adidas, and then he took some of those processes and saw a gap and made the Yeezys. It's like, why don't we invest in Nike, see everything that they do? And there may be 2 sisters that even have a book idea, but maybe we can take the book idea, turn it to an app, turn the app, help them sell that. Now we have more money. Now we can help our community. So it's a never ending cycle. And once you guys learn it, it's a lot of fun. Like I know a lot of business and investing comes off as boring, but when you start to get that bag and you start to go to sleep and you see that something's up 10%, 15%, and you didn't do anything but just buy it, it's an amazing feeling. It's an amazing feeling.
So 3 key habits for ridding yourself on fear and worrying about if your stock is going up or down once you purchased it.
I saw a funny meme today that said, whenever I buy a stock, all of a sudden it wants to go down. Why don't you do what it's doing before I got it? That's a good point. That's always going to happen. Just go check every 30 days and you should see an increase. Getting over the fear just comes with action, but this is a good step too that you guys can do. You can go to TD Ameritrade. You can open up a demo account, which is a practice account. Go in there, buy 10 shares of Apple, 10 shares of Nike. It's fake money, so it costs you nothing. Go and look back in 30 days and see how much you're up. And then that would be like your practice and actually investing. So you don't have to put any money up. The demo account is free. Just buy 10 shares of any company that you like. Check back in 30 days, see how it is. And then once you see that you're up 5 or 6%, everyone says the same thing. Man, I should have put 2,000 in that. I should have put 3,000 in there, right? But it's like playing a video game. Once you start, and I'm gonna go way back in the day. So like the first time you played Mario, it was tough. The 25th time, it's like, this easy. I'm gonna jump over here, kick this turtle, beat King Koopa. I'm gonna go down the pipe. It's the same thing. So take that first action step. It'll get a lot easier. And then I love that we are waking up en masse and starting to make groups, even amongst churches, to talk about investing and make like get 5 or 10 people that you like. Because this is not about me. It's not about me being some messianic figure of investing. It's about us all collectively taking action so we can help. Because you may see a company in the media space that I don't know because I'm not looking at media. And I'm like, yeah, well, here's a similarity from here where it can go from here to here. And we can all help each other out.
Media is technology now. I don't know that any, you've got to have a technological interface in order to even be to scale.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, if you think about it, AT&T.
Yes.
Disney has huge infrastructure.
Absolutely.
The whole program. Apple, come on.
Yeah.
Music.
Netflix.
I'm Netflix.
Yeah.
it's not the delivery and distribution. Nobody is waiting to turn pages. Like it's all
That's true.
nice when you get one, but at the end of the day, I can tell you and track you, put a cookie on you, follow
I
your,
know.
and you come back,
Retarget, yes.
target you. Um, I can see how long you watch that video. It's a different day. You literally have to. I can take our same program and put it on at 7 in the morning. There just might be people that have that mindset at 7 in the morning or midnight tonight.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it's the technology and the delivery and the distribution is evolving.
Yeah.
So they say content is king, but I am definitely backing the content with technology because
Gotcha.
without it, some new media. I wouldn't even put media on the company. If I said it was new, it would just be some name, kind of like Netflix, and that's what
Yeah.
it is clear. You know, I'm not even sure about a big video play because you're competing against people like Comcast. They're going to make a major acquisition.
Absolutely.
So
Google, yeah.
Google,
Yeah.
those are the guys that can literally, knock on Netflix door and say, "We like what you're doing, and here is a trunk load of money."
Yeah, absolutely. And I said it the other day on Market Mondays. I was like, this right here, this is our fifth limb.
Right.
I asked everyone, when's the last time you went 7 days without your phone?
Right.
Most people are like never, unless you're over 75.
Right.
Most people are going into the shower with their phone nowadays. Like, so that's why I know you guys are sometimes feel like it can be a broken record, but there's so many companies inside of tech that you can invest in. And honestly, if you look at the Dow and S&P 500, tech is the only thing that has kept the market afloat. Without technology, the Dow will probably be at 15,000. We'll be in a true hard depression. So thank God those companies stayed afloat. Zoom is still doing good. And I read an interesting article that the CEO of Zoom used to work at Citrix, and they turned down his idea to turn Citrix into an app first. And then he left and became their biggest competitor. So it goes back to what you said, that media, like the technology is the distribution, and they could have kept him in corporate and probably gave him a raise and put him at 250,000 a year. Now he's worth 2 billion, and they missed out on the opportunity. So tech first, some good retail company, of course. Target, Walmart is still solid, but tech is not only the wave of the future, but now as well.
They talked about it. I think we just don't understand or want to own the truth about how could we actually be connecting.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole, they've definitely, IBM, Arthur Anderson, everybody has figured out how to meet with their clients,
Yes,
make the same money through technology.
yes, it's a lot easier. It would have been a lot tougher in '96 to do this.
Right.
Like AOL chat room was not getting it in '99.
No.
So it would have been a heck of a lot harder to do. And also for the creators, now you have to put out more content. I feel like the content game is almost like the rap industry. It's like you got to put out way more material than you had to, but it's a blessing because if you've already been working on that, built trust, it's a great time to release a lot of that content as well. But yeah, my greatest thing is just whatever you're doing, whatever venture you're in or in life, just take action. And it doesn't have to be a huge step. You don't have to go read the annual report from a company. You can just Google what are the top 10 companies in the stock market in the United States. Start small, because small actions add up every single day. It's kind of like going to the gym. I'd rather somebody go to the gym 15 minutes every day than they go for 2 hours once out of a month. Like you're not going to have any breakthroughs that way.
So top 5 picks this week.
I got to go with Microsoft again because I still think it's cheap, even though it's 200. I think in about a year, Microsoft will be at 3.
You gotta do me one favor.
Go ahead.
I don't care if it's cheap.
Okay.
I don't want you.
You don't see some of these messages I get.
No, but part of but what we want people to do.
Yep.
Is only think in hundreds.
Got you. Okay, that's great.
Talk to. It's kind of like you say, hey, my son and his 2 friends want to go past Morehouse. Will you pick them up, take them past the school, and I'll get them at 8. I know and I pick them up at 12. I know between 12 and 8, they're going to probably eat twice, and we're going to have 2 or 3 activities. I'm
Yeah,
not getting ready to ask you what that costs. I'm not getting
that's
ready
true.
to tell you what I spent, and it's going to cost more than $100.
That's
We
true.
spend $100, and as a community, we need to keep it 100. So everything that we do is in multiples of 100, or you're
That's
not
true.
keeping it 100.
That's
This is
true.
all about the group that wants to be in the 100. And then if you want to be in the group that's in the 1000s, then that's where you are. But we only deal with people that want to make it to the 100. You got to have 100 to get in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I would do Microsoft, Apple, AMD is cheap. So probably when this is live, I think AMD is at 60. You can get it at $50, so you can get 2 shares. Facebook is still a steal, and then Tesla, of course. And I'll give you guys a bonus and say Netflix as well. So, and also slices, you can get fractional shares of these. Even if you don't put your real money into the market, go to just Google Paper Money by Thinkorswim. You'll see they're owned by TD Ameritrade. That will allow you to practice. So it's like a virtual video game for the market. Start there, buy it, wait in 30 days, and then you guys can come back in the 30 days. I'm like, oh, okay, he was kind of right. And because that's what normally is our first step. I think a lot of times we think we need to know everything about the market before we start executing, and you don't. Like, it's no different than when we play basketball or football. We started on a little Tykes rim or garbage can in a wastebasket, right? Start small. So Paper Money by Thinkorswim. Download a demo account. Just buy 1 share or 10 shares. Start there. You'll see it. So even if you don't have money, at least you will be able to learn from doing that.
Demo.
Yes, demo.
Yeah.
It's interesting because investing is the only place where people think practice is undervalued, and in every other professional career, people practice like crazy. Like Denzel practiced endlessly on his line. Like I know people criticize him, say he only just playing himself, but it's like it took him a while to master that craft. James Harden, LeBron James, Giannis, they practice like crazy to be that talented. Then in investing, everyone's like, I'm gonna just start with all my money there. Let me push all my chips in and get my life savings worth in one day. You don't have to. You can start small, do paper money, practice. And if you lose, guess what? It doesn't cost you anything. And if you win, it'll give you encouragement. And even in the losses, you'll learn some of your biggest lessons there.
But I think there's another value proposition that you're offering in. I think the other thing is don't short yourself.
Yes.
The whole idea is for your money to be working. I
Yes.
think that this isn't, you're not going to a casino.
Mm-mm.
Like if you're wealth planning, that's one thing. I mean, with what we're talking about, we want you to have a seat at the table. You only have a seat if you own a chair.
That's true. And let's be very
It's a
honest.
share for us,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, a chair is a share. So you've got to own a share to get a chair. So
And the reason I push so hard about this is because our grandparents didn't even have the luxury of being told this information. So I know there's redlining amongst real estate. There's redlining in investing as well. Because the minimums used to be 10,000, 25,000 in the 70s and 80s. And like black families didn't have 25,000.
qualified investor.
Come on. And then you also had to know someone at a brokerage firm or a fund to be able to get in. So it's like we have to make up for lost time. And a powerful thing is when you start. So I do this every day with Xander. What does Microsoft make? They make computers. What does Apple make? They make phones. What does Tesla make? They make those funny cars. I'm like, I think the car is beautiful, but he think they're funny looking, right? Just start small. Cover what does Nike make? They make shoes. Just start small with your kids. What does Netflix make? Movies, right? Because that's their blockbuster for all those of us that grew up in the 80s and 70s, right? Just start small, and then they only need 3 or 4. And once they know those, they like every time they see the commercial, they'll tell you, oh, they make this, they make that, and then that's how they get into the habit with the games and the other things that they like, and say that they're owned by this company. The kids will give you a lot of insight on what to invest in.
And I just want to make sure that people walk away in with your vision for them to have their money working versus them working.
Yes,
That,
you
that,
cannot.
You keep pulling your money out and putting it back under your mattress. You keep pulling your money out. Sometimes you've got to understand that investing and wealth building means you just did that. You separated yourself from your wealth, and it's part of your net income. Not sitting there thinking about what am I spending in my budget today.
Yeah. I always ask people if you can go back to 2009 and let's say you had $1,000 to give to Drake. And Drake said, man, I'll give you 2% of whatever I make over the next 20 years if you give me 1,000 or two. Would you do it? Everyone says yes. That's all investing in the stock market is. If you like Cardi, Drake, Sweetie, Lil Baby, it's the same process. You're taking an asset and putting money into them. It's harder to invest in artists, right? Because there's a lot of bust there, but the parallels are the same. So like Apple is like Drake. So like the comparisons, like culturally, we already know what to do. We are, even if you want to go back old school and be like, hey, Michael or Prince, you would have won with both of them. That's Microsoft and Apple. You wouldn't go wrong investing, or James Brown or Luther back. Like, you were going to win across the board. That's what these companies are. That's why they mean so much to the American economy. I just want us to act like we're label owners or share owners and have some of that money working for us. Because no matter how hard you work, you cannot outwork time, and you want your money working for you. You really do.
Well, in addition to that, you want some for your kids,
Absolutely.
and passing down shares and putting shares in trust is a whole better game for your kids. You know, when you think about it, and you're there at a big school, and they say, "Well, you know that's for my trust."
Mm-hmm.
But you got to have a trust. You got to begin to think about wealth in a way that leaves something for the future of our children. Um, I like what you're saying, but when I think about it, if you use it, then buy it.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, if you use your Apple phone every day,
Mm-hmm.
that might be something you should buy.
Should invest in. And then I know we often hear trust and trust fund babies, and we think we need millions to make a trust. It doesn't cost that much to get a trust or living well. I need to connect you with my friend Jennifer, who's an attorney, a will-based planner. Because those conversations are so intimidating because we didn't have anyone that looked like us explain to us what it is.
Well, you got to bring her on a seat at the table, brother.
Yeah, I would love to. I know she's gonna kill me when she sees this, but Jen, I'm gonna bring you on. But even with that, like, we've all been through it. But like, let's say grandma dies, and now all of a sudden everyone's fighting. But if you have that plan in place, you can't go around that directive. So the cousin can't come in at the last minute and say, "Well, grandma said I can have the house, the car, and all the money because that was her last wish." It's like, that's not recorded. But even with that, for my parents, I have a lot of parents ask me, "Well, what if my kid, I put this money away and they act up?" You can take the money away from your child if that's your fear. In addition to that, it lightens your load with college. So I don't know what college is going to cost by the time Xander has to go, but at the rate it's going to be $100,000 a semester. So you are going to have to lighten your load and invest in the market. And I've actually had a lot of African American women in the last 2 weeks who have been watching and then reached out and said, well, my grandma or my dad got me shares in this company. They made me hold it for 20. I held it for 20 years. Well, they held it for 20 years. And when I got to college, I was able to pay off my student loans through that money from the market. And now I'm starting in the workforce debt free. I'm like, that is incredible.
Right.
But even that information amongst us, and even for some of us that were more well-to-do, for those of you that went to Clark, Morehouse, Spelman, it's only maybe 25% of that crowd who knows. So I think the more that we do it, I think 529 plans are good as well. But you having money into the market and pouring some in will offset those college expenses. And then also, I mean, over a 40-year period, I mean, if you put $500 a month into an index and you're getting 8 to 12%, you're gonna walk away with $5 million. I don't know about you, but man, I would have loved it if my grandparents would have left me $5 million. Not that we want them to pass for that reason, but man, it helps ease some of the tension amongst the family as well.
Super. Well, it's been a great 30 minutes. We picked the 5. Maybe next week we start to do a screen share.
I love that.
I think we can do a screen share that way people can see it.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Then I'll put a list, and then I'll also give some areas of prices where you guys can start to look to get in. And I'll say this too: whenever the market crashes, or you hear on the news that the market fell a certain percentage, I want you guys to go from being fearful to being happy. I want you to think sell. So if they're
Right.
like, "Hey, the S&P fell 200 points," you should be like, "Yes, it's time. It's Black Friday for me. It's time to go shop." Because then 2 weeks when it goes up, or a month when it goes up, you've made money for doing nothing but investing in good companies.
All right. Let everybody know where to follow you.
You can follow me at, my name is The Master Investor on Instagram, Ian Dunlap on Facebook, or you can follow me on my site at joinredpanda.com. And most of my information on all social I give away for free. So it's not like I'm going to be pitching you a whole lot. If you just scroll through my page, you'll have hundreds of ideas of what to do with your money and what to invest in.
Cool. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
All right. Hit me up.
I will. I'm going to text you right now.
All right. Peace. All right, everybody. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Get involved. At least get a demo account so that you can practice, as Ian Dunlap suggested. Thanks to Ian. Obviously, he has a great vision for us. We want to thank Peter Beasley from Blacks in Technology. But no matter what you do, invest in yourself. Plan to make a difference in your life and the lives of your future generations that will benefit from you taking the moment to train your mind, to invest, and move toward the future. You don't have to be in the streets, but you do have to be in the struggle. This is Munson Steed. Peace, love, and we'll see you tomorrow on a seat at the table here on Rolling Out.